This is the National Park Service Community Briefing, Officer-Involved Shooting, Body-Worn Camera Recording for Yellowstone National Park, Canyon Village, on Thursday, July 4th, 2024, at 8:05 a.m. This briefing is intended to provide the public with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred in Yellowstone National Park on Thursday, July 4th, 2024. You are about to view relevant recordings from the involved officers' body-worn cameras to gain a better understanding of what transpired. We are committed to upholding our responsibilities around trust and transparency with the American public. Releasing body-worn camera footage from critical incidents is one way in which the National Park Service ensures transparency with the communities we serve. This incident is still under investigation, and all statements in this briefing are based on the details currently available. As the investigation progresses, additional information may emerge that could change our understanding of the incident. Portions of the audio and video have been concealed to protect privacy. The National Park Service employs more than 1,200 federal law enforcement officers who work to protect people and parks. Their duties include enforcing federal, state, and local laws in and associated with National Park Service property, responding to emergencies, assisting visitors, and protecting natural and cultural resources. NPS law enforcement officers and United States Park Police officers are equipped with body-worn cameras. We use body-worn cameras to foster public trust, enhance transparency, and ensure public safety by providing an accurate record of law enforcement encounters. Positioned on an officer's torso, body-worn cameras do not capture everything the officer sees or hears. The field of view can be obstructed by the movements of the officer or others nearby. Note that the initial seconds of the footage may lack audio. Yellowstone National Park, established in 1872 as the first national park in the world, spans 3,500 square miles and extends across the states of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. Canyon Village is located in the central part of Yellowstone National Park. It provides accommodations, dining options, and visitor services, including the Canyon Visitor Education Center. Like other national parks across the country, Yellowstone partners with third-party companies known as concessioners to provide services to NPS visitors. Concessioners hire their own employees who are not NPS employees. Xanterra Parks and Resorts is a private concessioner authorized to operate campgrounds, lodging, food and beverage, retail, and other services in Yellowstone National Park. Just after midnight on July 4th, the Yellowstone Interagency Communication Center received a report that a concession employee had been unwillingly held by an individual for several hours on the late evening of July 3rd. The individual, later identified by NPS law enforcement officers as Samson Lucas Bariah Fussner, also a concession employee, allegedly came to the employee's residence in Canyon Village armed with a knife and handgun. The report also indicated that Fussner threatened to kill the employee and target the employee dining room in Canyon Village the following day. The employee dining room, or EDR, is the primary food and beverage location for Canyon-based employees of Xanterra Parks and Resorts. After Fussner left, the employee moved to a secure location and sought help. The following audio is from a 911 call to Yellowstone Interagency Communication Center made by a Xanterra security guard. Fussner and the concession employee were both employed by Xanterra.
911 emergency. What is your exact location?
Hey, the incident is going to be at
Canyon Lodge in the Grizzly downstairs bathroom. This is security from Canyon.
So you're at the Grizzly?
I'm on my way to Grizzly dorm right now.
Okay, and what are you calling? So, yeah, Grizzly dorm?
Correct.
And what are you calling to report?
A female employee is with some other people in the female bathroom downstairs. She said a guy is threatening to kill her and shoot up the EDR tomorrow.
NPS law enforcement officers responded immediately to the Xanterra employee dorms and searched the surrounding area for Fussner. The employee told officers that Fussner planned to carry out mass shootings at the EDR and July 4th events outside of the park. Yellowstone Interagency Communication Center notified law enforcement agencies from surrounding jurisdictions. With Fussner at large, officers were strategically deployed to protect areas frequented by park visitors and concession employees. By the early hours of July 4th, over 20 NPS law enforcement officers, including the Yellowstone Grand Teton Special Response Team, began searching for the suspect in and around Canyon Village, including the area around the employee dining room. The crisis negotiation team from Yellowstone Grand Teton was activated, and an NPS victim advocate was requested to assist. While searching for Fussner, NPS law enforcement officers located Fussner's unoccupied and unlocked vehicle in the main Canyon Village parking lot. Officers found an unsecured handgun near the center console and driver's seat in plain view. At 8:05 a.m., Fussner emerged from the woods with a semi-automatic rifle and encountered an NPS law enforcement officer near the Canyon Lodge. Fussner fired at officer number 3. Note, officers number 1 through number 3 are numbered in the order that they fired at Fussner. After shooting at officer number 3, Fussner moved directly towards the loading dock, firing through the doorway into the hall at officer number 1. Officer number 1 returned fire and was shot by Fussner during this exchange. Officer number 2 could not return fire due to officer 2's position in the hall. The photograph on the left is officer number 1's approximate view of the loading dock when Fussner shot officer number 1. Investigators documented multiple entry and exit holes from gunfire. The photograph on the right is damage to the interior wall behind officer number 1's location. Many bullets penetrated consecutive walls of the building when Fussner fired at officer number 1. The body-worn camera recordings in this community briefing video are from 3 NPS law enforcement officers. Note, NPS policy reads in part, all personnel on scene shall activate their body-worn cameras prior to contact with individuals, except when faced with an emergency situation requiring immediate action to preserve life or safety. Officers number 1 through number 3 are numbered in the order that they fired at Fussner. Officer number 4 and number 5 did not fire their rifles. Officer number 1, who was shot by Fussner, did not activate the officer's body-worn camera during the entire shooting. Officer number 2 did not activate the officer's body-worn camera until after the shooting, though it did capture officer number 2 firing at Fussner. Officer number 3 did not activate the officer's body-worn camera until after the shooting, though it did not capture officer number 3 firing at Fussner. Officer number 4 did not activate the officer's body-worn camera until after the shooting. Officer number 5 activated the officer's body-worn camera during the shooting and ran towards the sound of gunfire. The following video is from officer number 2. You will see officer number 2 move from the hall inside Canyon Lodge into the garage bay before encountering Fussner for the second time. As Fussner moves towards the open garage door, still armed with the semi-automatic rifle, officer number 2 fires at Fussner. A word of caution. These videos